Morant with a running start. Elevates. Oh, it dunks. Oh, my goodness.
Tie game in overtime. Gasol will turn his heat. It's gone. Memphis on top. 7-10 remaining.
Conley now with three. Count it. A 15-point lead for Memphis. And Blake Griffin gets into it on the floor with Randolph. Hard to tell if there are any punches being thrown under there, but Griffin took acceptance.
Adams going long. Morant. He hit it. John Morant. Insanity.
You gotta be kidding me.
Welcome to Grits and Grinds, a Memphis Grizzlies podcast. My name is Keith Parrish. On this episode, I will talk about the loss to the Indiana Pacers on Sunday. I will also talk about the win on Friday night, where the Grizzlies got their first Friday night home win of the season by hanging on to defeat the Orlando Magic. Before I get into it, just a word to remind you, if you want to support the creation of this show and join the Grits and Grinds listener Slack, you can do that at patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. If you join the Patreon, you also get access to exclusive bonus content. So if you want to talk with other NBA fans in a nice curated setting, you can do that in the listener Slack. You can also, of course, talk about the Grizzlies around the clock with me and other Grizzlies fans. Patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. All right. I'm going to bounce around a little bit between these two games. I think the thing I like the most about these two games, of course, you win against the Magic. That was the Grizzlies' third straight win. And then you play a very competitive game against the Pacers. And the thing I like is that the team is in these games, and I like sort of the consistency of the storylines. It has been, for a while now, kind of the same story in every game. There are slight variations. Like every now and then, Zaire Williams has a great game. Great for him game. Like he did against the Magic. But usually it is Jaren Jackson Jr. is being asked to do serious, heavy lifting for the team and is coming through with strong games. You're getting great performances from Vince Williams Jr. Conchar is starting, delivering his stuff. And then we're getting these exciting moments from Jaren Jackson that kind of keep invigorating me and inspiring us and being like, there's the silver linings. Vince and Gigi are playing so well. And that's kind of what we got in all these games. The loss against the Pacers, Jaren was good. Vince was good. Conchar was good. Gigi was good. Gigi had a huge game. The win against the Magic. Vince is good, but Jaren was great. That one, you got contributions from Santi Aldama and Luke Kennard. So I think the fact that the Grizzlies stay competitive, they stay sort of winning. They keep winning basketball games. They also have been making three-pointers, and maybe a lot of it is just the three-point regression to the mean. It had been so bad for so long. And the loss against the Pacers snapped a 6-game streak where the Grizzlies had made at least 13 threes. That was a franchise-long streak. Coming into the Pacers game, actually the Grizzlies had made 13 or more threes in 11 of their previous 12 games. Even including the Pacers game, where that streak got snapped, the Grizzlies had gone 13 games where they had made 38% of their three-pointers. They're attempting over 40 three-pointers per game in that span. So they're winning the three-point battle. They've been doing it for a while now. Over that same 13-game span, their opponents were only making 36% of their threes. The Grizzlies basically averaging 15 made threes per game. Opponents averaging 11 made threes per game. So for the last 13 games, which is an arbitrarily chosen cutoff, the three-point formula is working for the Grizzlies. It might be one of the few times in franchise history they've had that long of a stretch where they've won the three-point battle that significantly. But the win over the Magic, you saw a lot of that three-point shooting, we'll say luck, for lack of a better word, come through in the first half. The Grizzlies scored 68 points in the first half against the Magic. They made 12 three-pointers in the first half. What did they do in the second half? Yeesh. They made 3 three-pointers in the second half. They only scored 39 points in the second half. in the win against the Magic. We were having a Grizzlies watch party in Nashville. A lot of fun. A good crowd. And someone came up to me at the start of the fourth quarter, and they were like, we're going to win this, right? And I was like, nope. I had all of the doubts in the world. I was pointing to the fact that, hey, we've made a lot of three-pointers, and we're not really up by very much. And now some of these less savory second unit lineups are coming in. I'm pretty nervous about this one. And then the Grizzlies got up by 11, midway through the fourth. And I was like, all right, maybe we are. Are we going to win this? And then, it was a Joe Ingles wide open three that saved us. The Grizzlies could not put the Magic away. Even Jaren had multiple layups in like the final minute that basically could have iced it. And so the Grizzlies escaped that one, skin of your teeth. But, you'll take it. A win's a win. But despite maybe my doubts sometime, that win was fun. It was the third straight win, of course, and the third straight game where they posted 30 assists. Usually I say like 30 or more assists. No, actually, coincidentally, they posted exactly 30 assists in all three wins they had last week against the Raptors, the Heat, and the Magic. They're now 4-1 this season when as a team they record at least 30 assists. Of course, they always have a great winning percentage under Taylor Jenkins when they do have 30 assists as a team. All 5 of those games where they've gotten 30 or more assists have come in the month of January. And like the Grizzlies, they're playing well in January, especially under the circumstances. Like they're playing great. And historically, I pointed this out at the start of the month. Historically, the Grizzlies have had really strong Januaries under Taylor Jenkins. Maybe that is a positive reflection on how he and his staff do things, that the investments they make in teaching and coaching and allowing players to mess up in like October and November and December, it starts to show dividends at this time of the year. Or perhaps it's just a totally random occurrence. I have no idea. But the Grizzlies have been pretty solid of late as they play shorthanded. And you give the credit to Jaren. Jaren had 30 points in the win against the Magic. It took him 30 shots to do so. But like the guy's getting swarmed at all times. And we're seeing it in both games against the Magic and against the Pacers. Jaren is recognizing double teams quickly. He's doing a good job of moving the ball around. We're showing even more playmaking. It's still modest playmaking from Jaren, but we're seeing some nice pick and roll stuff. He had that great drop-off pass to Santi Aldama against the Magic, where it was just a two-man game, a little pick and roll between the two bigs. Jaren is moving the ball around better. He's scoring, and also it's the paint points. I think he had a career high in paint points against the Magic. He keeps getting guys in the post and scoring over them with both hands. He's really developed that post-game, being under control, so he's not committing offensive fouls, taking advantage of mismatches, and also beating guys off the dribble, even when help is coming. So Jaren's doing a good job handling the main offensive scoring load for the Grizzlies. He also continues getting to the line a good amount. He tied his career high with 11 made free throws against the Pacers. So Jaren keeps playing well. Vince Williams Jr., I talk about how the Grizzlies have been competitive in January and of late. I think this is a remarkable stat. The Grizzlies this year, when Vince Williams Jr. starts, are 8-9. Like, he's been starting in difficult circumstances. In those 17 starts, only 3 of them were with Ja Morant. They won all 3 of those. Those 3 games, you had Ja Morant and Desmond Bane. What luxury. And you also started Vince Williams Jr. Now, Desmond Bane's only played a total of 8 of those 17 games. So 9 of these 17 starts by Vince Williams Jr. have been without Ja Morant or Desmond Bane. And, of course, Marcus Smart. Vince and Marcus have never started at the same time. So the Grizzlies being 8-9 when Vince Williams Jr. starts, some of it's schedule. A lot of it's Jaren playing awesome. A lot of it is Luke Kennard stepping up in big moments. Luke Kennard, when he plays, important caveat, has been tremendous. More on him in a second. And then a lot of it is the fact that Vince Williams Jr. is just really stinking good. And I don't understand how he hasn't had more terrible games. Against the Magic, you would say not his most extremely good game, but he was great. And he did the stuff that matters. He had 11 points, made 3 threes, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks, including a spectacular, important fourth quarter block of a Paolo Banchero dunk. Paolo Banchero does not get his dunk blocked very frequently. I mean, the Grizzlies have a 2-point lead in the final 3 minutes. Banchero is on a breakaway fast break. Banchero's one of the biggest guys in the NBA, and Vince blocks him from behind. These multiple winning plays that Vince makes over and over and over. And then against the Pacers, massive game, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 4 of those rebounds on the offensive glass, got an assist, did not turn the basketball over, made 8 of his 12 field goal attempts, 2 out of 3 on threes, 6 out of 9 on 2-pointers. He did miss 2 free throws. He did miss 2 very important driving layups in the fourth quarter. At the end of the game, Vince looked visibly dejected. I don't know if it was a combination of frustration and weariness. Like, he was hanging his head. It was good to see the bench guys talking to him, trying to cheer him up. He was let down with himself the way he did not come through with these left-handed layups that I think one of them would have given the Grizzlies a lead. One of them might have tied it. Like, it was a big swing play. I remember that Vince missed the layup, and then I believe Aaron Nesmith, who had a great game, came down and hit a big 3. Like, the Grizzlies did not come through in the clutch against the Pacers, but, like, you can't really be frustrated with that. I mean, Vince misses 2 big shots. He only missed 4 shots all game. Conchar had a 3-pointer, an open 3 that would have put the Grizzlies ahead at the end of the game. It was Conchar's only miss of the game. Conchar was 4 out of 5 from the field, 9.7 rebounds, 4 assists. I mean, sure, the Pacers were shorthanded as well. Tyrese Halliburton didn't play. Also, their backup preferred point guard, T.J. McConnell, didn't play. Miles Turner did not play. The Pacers are a deep team, though. Jalen Smith, one of my trade target priorities for all year, went off against us. But, like, the Grizzlies did not get the plays down the stretch they needed to pull out this close victory. But, like, you can't be that upset with the guys because they were doing it the whole rest of the game. I mean, Jaren with the 25 points and 4 assists, 2 steals and a block. Vince having a huge game. Conchar having a great game. I mean, I love Gigi Jackson. He was closing. Gigi Jackson was huge against the Pacers. 18 points. He already has 4 games in his career of scoring 17 or more. That's the 3rd most in franchise history for any teenager, trailing Jaren Jackson Jr. and Sharif Abdur-Rahim. I mean, Gigi's got a gift, man. He didn't play very much against the Magic. That was a result of Zaire Williams having a good game. So Zaire basically ate into Gigi's minutes. But even when Gigi played against the Magic, he made some really nice plays. He had that great kick-out pass to Zaire for a 3-pointer. That was some nice playmaking to see from Gigi. Then he made a baseline jumper. He also got an and one where he was standing in the dunker spot. Roddy hit him with a nice assist, and he finished. We're seeing Gigi not just make 3-pointers. He keeps making 3-pointers. Made 2 out of 4 against the Pacers. But, like, Gigi is making his threes. He's blocking shots. He's rebounding. He's also finishing when he's in the dunker spot. He's doing a great job of finishing as the roller in pick and rolls. The flashes we're seeing from Gigi are so great. And so that, I guess, that gives us energy. That gives us excitement. Let's acknowledge Luke Kennard. I said I would talk about him in a second. Luke Kennard against the Magic, a big part of the victory. He continued his excellent play. He made 5 3-pointers. Scored 15 points, had 6 assists, 5 rebounds, and a steal. This is the first time in Luke Kennard's career he's had 6 or more assists in 3 straight games. He joined Desmond Bane as the only players in Grizzlies franchise history to have 6 or more assists and 4 or more made threes in 3 consecutive games. Also with the 5 rebounds, I continue to think that chipping in on rebounding is one of Luke's underrated abilities. he just moves towards the basketball. And even if he's undersized, he helps the team out in rebounding in that way. Now, him not playing against the Pacers and him missing games frequently / sporadically, whatever adjective you want to use, I don't know if that is a product of them wanting to be conservative with his injuries and keep him totally fresh because he is a possible trade chip as we approach next Thursday's trade deadline. I don't know what the odds are of him getting moved, but they're greater than 0. Or if it is just this guy struggles with injuries, it's a part of his career that he has difficulty. Maybe not as much as like a Derrick Rose, that's an understatement, or not as much as Marcus Smart, but Luke Kennard also misses a fair amount of games. But when he's played, he's been really good of late. The Zaire Williams game, all right, 17 points against the Magic, made 3 3-pointers, got 5 assists, very impressive, got a couple of steals. He stepped up in a big way. If he doesn't make shots, the Grizzlies probably, do not pull out that close win. Even in the good games, though, you still see kind of the frustration moments or the frustrating moments. Like he airballed a corner 3-pointer in a good game. His 2 turnovers were both really quite bad, but I'm not going to be super picky. Zaire played great against the Magic, against the Pacers. No, sir. Not good at all. In the win against the Magic, Santi Aldama, we should be recognized. He's been starting of late. He had one of his better games, maybe of the year. Had 14 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. Made 6 out of 9 of his field goal attempts. And Roddy in the game. So Roddy, I was super frustrated with him a few games ago, and I feel like he's maybe won me over a little bit more in the past few games. I mean, it's not like he doesn't give you full effort. He gives you full effort. He plays super hard. So you're not mad at him for how he's playing necessarily. I just get a little impatient sometimes with the shot selection, and I feel like he has definitely improved on that. I thought in the first half against the Pacers, still some shots I did not love, but he had a strong game, I feel like, against Indiana with 14 points, 5 rebounds, a steal, a block, and an assist. But against the Magic, notably, he didn't play as much. Again, he lost minutes to I'd say, Zaire as well. But he had a career-high 10 rebounds while playing only 17 minutes. Now, he did start the game against the Pacers without Luke Kennard. They went to the Roddy and Conchar, along with Jaren, Vince, and Santi starting lineup. And this Pacers game, I guess we can get into it a little bit about how specifically it was lost, not really with the missed shots I talked about earlier, where Vince is missing these driving left-handed layups and Conchar doesn't make his 3-pointer. This game was lost, unsurprisingly, in the minutes those guys weren't playing. It was lost very specifically in the minutes that Jaren Jackson Jr. and Vince Williams Jr. weren't on the court. And that's not, again, it's not surprising, and there's not that much you can do about it. Like, it was really horrible in the second quarter, and maybe you could have brought in Vince and Jaren earlier in the second quarter. I was doing a live playback on Sunday for that Pacers game, and I was saying, you got to bring in Vince and Jaren now because the wheels are coming off the wagon, and they did not bring back Vince and Jaren earlier. The Pacers ripped off a 14-0 run while Vince and Jaren were on the bench, and it immediately stopped once those guys checked in the game. So, like, that's how you end up with these horrible plus-minus numbers for like Xavier Tillman and Zaire Williams and Jacob Gilyard. Now, it is interesting that the Grizzlies prioritized in the rotation Scottie Pippen Jr. over Jacob Gilyard. In the win against the Magic, Gilyard played, Pippen did not. Coming off that Miami game, I feel like most of us, I know I wanted to see Scottie Pippen Jr. get another shot and maybe get placed in the rotation ahead of Gilyard because that Miami game was amazing from Scottie Pippen Jr. And we got that against the Pacers. Now, I feel like he was okay in the first half. He was a nightmare in the second half. Multiple drives towards the basket where he did not get separation. He thought his move was going to work. He would get a shot blocked by like Neesmith or somebody. And then he had some bad turnovers, just lazy passes getting picked off. That was part of a fourth quarter run where the Pacers were kind of grabbing the momentum of the game. But big picture, the game was lost by the Grizzlies just getting outscored so badly when Jaren and Vince weren't on the court. And with the Jaren thing in the second half, I'm sorry, but we have to go back to the trope of the foul thing. Jaren's fifth foul was, I'm going to say, probably a foul on Jaren. The angles I saw were not super conclusive. I think there's a chance, I don't know what percentage I would place that chance, maybe like a 30% chance that upon review, they would have said Jaren got fouled before he did any arm push off to commit the offensive foul. But whatever the call, and I'm guessing it was probably a correct call that wouldn't have gotten overturned. That's a huge play, a fifth foul with 6 minutes left. You have been on a run. You've cut the deficit to 3. And so Jaren gets his fifth foul. And I feel like most coaches would leave Jaren in the game just to play through it. I thought it was worth a challenge. This specific situation might be worth losing your challenge. But I think your options there, my opinion is, I've been pretty clear about this. My opinion there is you either challenge it or leave Jaren in the game. I mean, you do both. If you don't challenge, you still play through it. But Taylor Jenkins takes out Jaren Jackson Jr. This is what he does. And the Grizzlies, you could argue, did not fall any further behind while Jaren was on the bench. They were down 3 when he went out. They remained down 3 by the time Jaren got back in the game with 4 minutes or 3 minutes left in the game. And then, of course, the Grizzlies lose. But, of course, the opportunity of what could have been, we'll never know. And of course, I can do the thing where I highlight, hey, did Jaren foul out? No, he did not. He finished the game with a +10 plus minus. He played slightly under 32 minutes. If Jaren had played 36 minutes, would we have won? Maybe. I know they're on the first leg of a back-to-back. They have to play the Kings on Monday night. But this was a winnable game. If Jaren plays a few more minutes in the first half, if Jaren plays through that foul trouble, maybe he would have fouled out. Maybe he would have fouled out immediately and the Grizzlies lose. But guess what? We already lost. We lost the game. The Grizzlies finished the game with their challenge. They never challenged anything. I'm not big on just wasting your challenge or going for one of these all right, maybe this will work out for us. I have less concern about the not challenging the call. I think I would have because it seemed questionable whether or not it was a correct offensive foul call. But I do feel passionately that taking Jaren out there is the wrong choice. If he fouls out, we live with that. I've said it so many times. The losing the game and seeing that Jaren did not foul out, that is the part that I just cannot wrap my head around. But that was, I thought, an important decision in this game. But hey, maybe allowing, I don't know who got the extra minutes, Roddy or Gigi, that extra burn in crunch time and clutch time, maybe we'll reap the benefits of that down the road. But I really disagreed with the decision to bench Jaren with 6.5 minutes left when you were down by 3 points and you were on a run. A few final things. Vince Williams Jr. has made 2 or more threes in 7 straight games. And just because I like doing these things, here are his stats over the last 5 games. He's averaging 17.6 points per game, 6.6 rebounds per game, 2.4 assists per game. He's making 56% of his three-pointers, and his overall field goal percentage is 60.8%. And last stat, the game against the Pacers was the rare loss this season for the Grizzlies when they won the rebounding battle. And that, I believe, is all I'm going to do for today. Thanks, as always, for listening. If you want to support this show, do it at patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. I really appreciate everyone who has joined up over there. Come join the Slack channel. Let's talk basketball over there. Anyways, hope you guys have a great Monday. I'll talk to you soon. Go Grizz.